The rocket has lifted off. Hasn't exploded.
I
Let's
hope
go.
everything's good. I'm gonna check the audio. I should have checked your audio ahead of time just to make sure that we're all good. But so give it about 20 seconds because my YouTube is behind. Let's see. All right, that's me.
Oh, we got Kevin in there. What's up?
All right, cool. It sounds okay. This is the as you guys noticed, it's a little bit different. Like Dave had some
I'm
meetings
not
and
Dave.
stuff he had to do, so like I put together the whole restream stuff. I got it all up. It's looking all right. It's feeling good. My heart's racing, because Dave's normally the one
Doing
who's doing
fine.
this stuff. He's the professional here.
Doing good.
So yeah, super excited to be doing this. EJ was kind enough to join us. Let's start it off. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another MoGraph MoCast. I'm Matt, and joining me this week as my special guest, Mr. EJ Hassenfratz. I'm pointing.
Yeah, you probably don't recognize me without the
With
koala
right.
outfit, but it's me.
Hey, it's
Yeah,
him.
it's me. This is what I really look like.
Yeah, so as you
Well,
see, everything's a little bit different. Excited, it's Dave and I have been super busy over the past year. Just like, I was freelancing for a while at ABC. I was freelancing for another company early in the year last year. Dave got on this really big project, and like the podcast has been kind of like back and forth. But now that I've got everything set up on my end, who knows? Some weeks it'll be both of us. Some weeks it'll be me and a guest. Some weeks it may just be Dave and a guest. Or some weeks it may just be me by myself looking at the camera telling you everything, Yeah, you like the locks? You like the locks? It's beautiful, huh? Grown them out. Amy was like, you should grow out your hair. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And then, she gets what she wants. So, yeah. First off, let's hop into this. Want to thank our sponsor, Otoy. They're our universal sponsor for the podcast and the website. We've got a ton of stuff that we are doing and that we have planned for the website this year. I'm really excited about what's coming up, and we couldn't have done that or couldn't do any of this without Otoy. Otoy helps keep the lights running and everything, and you know them. They're the makers of Octane Render and the Render Network. So feel free to go online, give them a shout out, say thank you for sponsoring your favorite podcast, MoGraph podcast of all time. So yeah, we got a few fun little things. It's been maybe about a month since we had a show. I think the Christmas show was the last one we had. And then I was wanting to get everything set up last week, but then I got busy. I had a big project that I was working on for some live event, so screens and stuff. It was for Samsung. I was really excited about it, so I was like, oh, I could do this. I could set this all up in a day. No, I could not. The stress overwhelmed me. So we didn't have a show last week. And then, so here we are. Super excited. If anything goes wrong, feel free to shout at me in the comments. I tried to make sure that all the audio was good and everything. First up, let's hop into our first headline. All right. I don't have your audio on here. I should. First up, okay. So that's a mental note for myself because no one can hear you right now, EJ. No, they didn't hear the sound effects. Sorry. I need to remember to do that on the headlines. Okay. First up is the 50 series GPUs got announced, and then I'll hop back to the 2 box so that we can talk about it, and now people can hear you.
well,
So yeah, that was kind of a big announcement. I didn't know that they were going to do this they did it at CES last week, which was pretty cool. And like, I think the big thing that everyone was like clamoring about, the thing that really hit me was they're talking of the 5070s, that it's supposedly just as fast as a 4090. Did you hear that?
at what price point?
Like
Much cheaper?
$550. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, that's
But
great.
and so
Now I think everyone was talking about. I was seeing all the memes of like, what's that? what's the one movie where they hold up the boombox?
Oh, say
And
anything.
say anything. It was someone holding up the 5090 card. It's
It
massive.
is
I was like,
massive.
that's the best meme I've
Yeah,
ever seen. It's massive. It's what, 36 gigs of RAM now?
36. Yeah, I believe.
I think it's 36. Like the 3090s were
Yeah,
24, so that's pretty
yeah.
awesome. Um, something I was talking with Brandon Clemens, who does the RTX on course
Mm-hmm.
for you guys, but he's like all into all the NVIDIA stuff, and he was saying actually I think this was before the 5090 announcement, but the whole use of like AI, like neural
Yeah,
materials and radio and like all this crazy stuff that he was saying that like imagine like you just render one frame and then AI kind of fills in the gaps, almost like
yeah,
tweening. And I was like, that's an incredible type of thing to think about because as of right now, it's like we're like I'm always thinking of can we just use AI like with the things that are doing the denoising and
yeah,
stuff and but to actually like create and generate entire frames that fill in gaps and textures and
yeah.
stuff without the smearing. Like
It'll be
that's what
interesting to
I'm excited
see if like programs like C4D or Blender or Houdini or whatever or Octane or Redshift actually implement something like that, because the way I understand it, the extra frames that they're using the AI in order to create is mostly for gaming, so it's like
about.
you can get 240 frames a second, but most of it is AI that's filling it in, you know
Gotcha.
so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. And that was one thing with the 5070. So like when I heard the announcement on the 5070, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fill my house with 5070s. You know, like yeah, it sucks that it's only 12 gigs of VRAM, but I don't really most of the time go over that unless I'm doing massive
Mm-hmm.
scenes. And if I'm doing massive scenes, I'll just send it to the render network anyway. Spend
Right.
$100, get the whole thing rendered in 10 minutes. And
Right.
so,
Right.
but it'll be interesting to see if some of them implement this. The thing is, the 5070, like saying that it's the 4090, it's like okay, well that's with those extra frames. It'll be just as good as the 4090. But if those aren't implemented in either Octane or Redshift or any of these other, plugins, it's like it's going to be basically the same. So I'm excited for people to get their hands on it to see some of the Octane benches, because if the Octane bench is relatively close to the 3090s, because right now I'm running dual 3090s, in
Same.
like 3 of my machines. But if I could like jam pack a whole bunch of 5070s in there, oh, that would be
Yeah. It's
nice.
all about the fit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like
So, but my main machine is a Mac anyway. I've got the Mac Studio, and that one's got 128 gigs of unified RAM, so I could use all the VRAM. The hard part is if I go over on my Mac, I have to render it locally on my Mac. I can't render it on my
oh
farm,
no.
you
Yeah.
know?
Dude, between you and Chad Ashley, you guys are like pulling me back to
Dude,
Macland just with like the power and the
it's
like just seeing Redshift, like seeing that in the viewport, and they got that new
mhm.
denoiser that you can use in the viewport, which looks like I just turned it on the other day, and I was just like, oh damn, okay, because I've been like I've been in like Blender world
Yeah.
and then learning
Yeah.
ZBrush and all this stuff. So it's like I haven't really given a lot of attention to Cinema 4D in the past few months, but now that I'm like back, I'm going to record a Cinema 4D tutorial here for
For
once
once.
and turn that on. I was like, damn, that looks great because that was one of the things in Eevee
Mhm.
in Blender. It's like their viewport, like it's just so snappy. And when I went to Redshift, I was like, oh, they're kind of on par now with. I mean, it gets smeary for a second, and
Yeah.
then it like updates
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah, the my biggest gripe with Redshift, especially working, doing freelance work with ABC over the past 6 months or whatever, was the load time, the time to first pixel.
Oh
When you've got
yeah,
massive scenes and stuff, it just takes forever, and then you hop over to Octane, it's like
right.
instant,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I don't know. It'd be nice to see something done with that, but who knows? Maybe these new
They're
cards.
working out the
Yeah,
kinks.
they'll work out the
It's
kinks.
getting better.
So,
It's getting better.
what else do I have on my list? Speaking of tutorials and stuff, Let me see.
Tutorial.
Tutorials. You recently just released.
Oh, that's a
I
great
know. I
still.
purposely put that still just so you could say that. But
Uh,
yeah. So
my first tutorial completely drunk.
hold on. Let me make sure
Uh,
that okay. I can hear this right now in my head, but I don't think everyone else can.
okay.
But
Baba, hey
yeah,
guys,
I love the
Blender.
flat Earth thing.
That was a good flat earther joke right there. You missed.
So yeah, talk to me about your joyride into Blender.
Yeah. Yeah, quote unquote
Right.
joy. Um, well, it's and I've said this to many people. If I was going into Blender without Cinema 4D spoils every single person who uses it because it's hands down one of the best user experiences, UI setups I feel like
Mm-hmm.
ever, like workflow and just how everything kind of makes sense. And we got the object manager and the hierarchy, parent child kind of thing. Nomad Sculpt has that too, and that's kind of why I like really love the UI UX over there as well. But it is so hard to like know how things are done in one app and then go to another app like Blender, and there's just like number one, like the tutorials that I watch and I talk about this in this video is like one of the hardest things was like the way that people are teaching. And I don't know if it's that everyone watches the donut
Yeah.
tutorial and they just like, oh well, that's how Blender donut guy does it, so I guess that's just how you do it. And you just have all these people that are just kind of regurgitating the same thing and putting their own spin on it. But the big thing was like all the shortcut keys to just like move stuff around.
Mm-hmm.
And then I find out like, oh, there's this like universal gizmo, kind of like they have it in ZBrush, where it's got the the translate, scale,
Yeah.
rotation all in the one gizmo. And it's like, okay, well that kind of unburdens me from having to like do G and then X, but then which way Z? Because it's Y is
Yeah.
not up anymore, and so it's just this mental gymnastics that I was having to do every single time. And so and then this is what I talk about in this video. There's all these little things that like really frustrated me about trying to get into Blender because it's like knowing and being experienced with another 3D app is
Yeah.
huge, but it's just when there's all these barriers that are kind of like some of them don't even need to be there, and some people are showing you shortcut keys but then not showing what the menu. And I'm actually, this is the part of the
Yeah. Yeah.
video
Yeah.
that like you can actually see the shortcut keys, like go into the menus, and if you ever forget, because you are the tutorials that I watch, it's like they cover 70 shortcut keys in like a 10-minute video, and I'm
Yeah. How
like,
can you remember all that?
right, exactly. So having that more comprehensive understanding of the software, where things are in menus, how things work, like that's kind of what I talk about in this Blender video, and how I see a lot of people struggle with the shortcut key stuff as well, and then just how things work. And uh, there's just certain ways that people teach as well that, like, again, they're just regurgitating. A lot of people, there's a few tutorial artists out there that actually have used Maya
Mm-hmm.
before, and so they know how, like, well, this isn't the right way that someone else is doing. Like, I was watching a video, and I'm not going to name the YouTube person, but they're super popular, Blender tutorial person. They just, after like maybe, I don't know how many years he's been recording videos, he just learned what a null object
Ooh.
was like 5 years in. And I'm like, is that the person that's teaching
Yeah.
these masses of Blender people? So it's
It
things
may
like
be in
that
their
where,
defense, because I remember when I first started out, I was like, I'm just going to
sure,
start making
absolutely.
tutorials. There's literally a tutorial of me saying, I don't know what render instances is.
But it's what, yeah, I mean, I feel like they're going through the growing pains that maybe we all did back when Nick started doing
Yeah.
his tutorials, and it's like, oh, what the hell is this? And so I get that. But then we already went through that. We know what a render, we know what an all
Yeah.
is. And so and this is all through, like, also we at School of Motion, we're putting out a Blender for 3D artists
Cool.
course that is basically like, oh, you already know what what an all
Have y'all
is,
announced
hopefully.
that? Who's
How
doing
does
it?
this trend? So this guy, he's Elijah Sheffield, is actually in
Oh,
Dallas.
cool.
a very awesome. Here, I'll get his Instagram. Uh, Sweet Boy Motion. He's a really cool artist. I really dig his style, and his style's more like on the MoGraphy style
Mm-hmm.
of things. And so that's the thing that like when I see people doing Blender, it's like there's a lot of gaming crossover,
Yeah.
right? And not
Good
so much like you
stuff.
have like duck, your Ducky 3Ds and stuff. And the dude, his sense of humor is great.
Yeah.
Like I love his little jokes and stuff. So not only is this tutorial or this course going to be like, here's literally everything you need to know to translate your existing 3D skills and translate them to
Yeah.
Blender. He covers. It's so funny because I had a conversation with him when we were thinking about well, what's going to be in the course, and I was like, do you think you could cover like grease pencil? And he's like, dude, you can learn the basics of grease pencil in like 7 minutes. I'm like, oh, and like he literally showed me everything, and I was like, thank you. Like that's all I
Yeah.
needed is like a centralized, like condensed thing. And the great part about Elijah is that he worked at a studio alongside a bunch of Cinema 4D artists. And so he had to work in a production pipeline, and
That's
a lot
important.
of the Blender YouTuber people have never worked on a client gig using
Yeah.
Blender before.
Yeah.
So, like, do you even know what samples are,
Yeah.
bro? Like, things like
And
that.
what's great about that is that like yeah, I mean not only did he work in a production pipeline, but working in Blender, that's completely different than say working in a C4D, pipeline, or working in
Right,
a Maya or a Houdini pipeline, That will
right.
definitely that's good. That'll cater to the people who are trying to get into Blender a lot more. That's exciting.
Yeah,
Good
yeah. I mean,
stuff.
he knows ZBrush. He's learned Unreal. Like, he's got a really great like total great background of like how things work and other. So everything is like kind of like it's always helpful. Like when I learned Cinema 4D, like it was very helpful to like relate things to what I know in After
Yeah, yeah,
Effects,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so that's kind of like any chance he can, he makes the reference of like, oh, it's this in Blender, but in Cinema 4D it's called this, and then you have those like aha
Mhm.
moments. And like just in the past like month or so, I've like really started to like grasp
Yeah.
Blender and like how everything works, and a lot of it's like I'm not quite up on the shortcut keys, but at least I know where things are in
Yeah.
menus, and that's half the battle. Like
Yeah, I mean, I
once you
spend most
get
of my
comfortable,
C4D time in menus. I don't do it. I don't use it a
right?
lot. After Effects, on the other hand,
Well, I
I'm
mean,
I'm like, yeah, all the time. But
yeah. I mean, how much like I know, and I know many Cinema 4D artists. Like that was one of the most fun things. Is like you go into a menu, you're like, huh, what's a pose
hmm
morph? And you like go into the help, and you're like, oh wow, that's like amazing. I'll use that all the
yeah,
time. And so like that's kind of the fun part about it is like just the discovery of because Blender is like it could do so many things. And I feel like, and even the Elijah who does the Blender course, he's like after using Blender for so long, like I've been watching tutorials and it's like they don't know what the hell they're doing or they're teaching it the wrong way,
yeah,
and there's just a lot of like this Blender disinformation out there. So it's as Blender gains in popularity and you get more of these artists that have already used another professional app before, like Maya or Cinema 4D or Houdini, and you get them using Blender and like, oh no, there's this better way to
hmm
do this because it's similar to how you do it in Maya or
yeah,
whatever. So there's and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more of that as more professional working artists are getting into it. And it's not just like Blender influencer Twitch streamers
yeah.
that like just kind of fuck around and like, well, I'm just brute forcing this
I think
because I
that's
don't know any
that's
better.
actually I think that's like a majority of Blender users are the people who
Yeah.
are, you know, Twitch streaming, video gaming. Let's jump into
Yep.
Blender so that we can figure out, how to make cooler live streams in OBS and whatever.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you make your Minecraft
Right.
level and
And then you show
everything's good.
everyone
But like,
online how to do it and you don't know what nulls are.
right, exactly. And like, I guarantee you, a client's not going to be like, yeah, build me a Minecraft level for this
Right.
Samsung earnings
Right.
report. Maybe they will. I don't know.
uh,
Probably make
right.
it fun.
Maybe it's a tie-in with the new Minecraft movie. What do you think of that, by the way?
Is that the one
with
with
Jack
Jack
Black.
Black? I
Yeah.
feel like every video game movie has to have Jack Black
Oh
now.
yeah. Have you seen
Like he's
Have you seen the
Bowser.
new Sonic movie?
No, is he
No,
in
he's
that
not.
too?
It's Keanu Reeves plays
Oh,
Shadow, but
oh, that's.
yeah.
I've not seen a single Sonic
Really?
movie, and I feel like I need. So yeah, like
The
everyone says it's good. Like Winbush is in there. He
Yeah,
said it's
I
really
I
good.
think I thought they were good. The first one was fine. You know, it was more like a buddy road trip movie. You know,
Yeah.
but the second one was great. The second one was fantastic. You know,
Is Knuckles in the
Knuckles is in
second
the
one and
second one,
Tails?
and Tails. Tails isn't in the first one.
Tails is in the second.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's just Sonic in the first
It's
one.
always the first one that's kind of like,
Yeah.
eh. I don't get why movies do that, where it's
Well, you gotta you,
one
you
of my
gotta do the backstory.
you gotta
Everyone
milk it.
has to do. You gotta
I
have
know,
the
but
origin story.
yeah, you can't blow the biggest bad. Well, so one of my favorite like old school movies is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the '90s
Yeah.
movie. Like still
Yeah.
holds up. Like I challenge you to watch it and not like just
Mm-hmm.
love it and pick up on jokes that like made no sense to you back then, but now do as an
Yeah.
adult. Um, but like they did okay, you got Shredder, that's the main big bad guy,
Yeah.
right? Like, okay, cool. And then the second movie, Toka and Razor, what the hell is that?
I
Like,
yeah.
why don't you get Bebop and Rocksteady? Like, we had to wait for. I mean, no, this is
It's
derailing
okay.
this whole
No,
program.
this is the point of the show.
Like, we have to do a Michael Bay. Michael Bay has got to be the one. Like, I have to watch a Michael Bay movie to get my Bebop
was
and
was
Rocksteady. Like,
Bebop
that's
and
not.
Rocksteady in the Michael Bay one? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't watched it
Oh,
yet. Like, I kind of want to
have
refuse,
you
but
seen the
I don't know.
newest one? The newest Turtles movie?
Oh, the like into the
Yeah.
Turtleverse one.
It
Yeah,
was good.
yeah. I
It
mean,
was
it was
great.
fun.
You know?
I like the deep cuts of all the like the
Yeah.
characters because I'm like, this is who I was in the '90s. Like I would go to Toys
Uh-huh.
R Us and I would like I need to buy a new
Right, of
Turtles toy,
course.
and of course like they're already sold out of like your main
Right.
turtles. So you had like, who the hell is this duck guy?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't care. It's a turtles guy, I
Right.
guess. And like the toads, and so I would get all the obscure like guys like Yo Jimbo and da-da. And it was so funny because they actually had a lot of those characters in the movie, so it like validified my
Yeah.
like I wish I still had those toys because then it might be worth something because people actually know what the hell they
Yeah,
are now.
I went into it not expecting a lot, you know, but I dug the
Yeah.
art style. Like I
Oh,
I
absolutely.
absolutely love this new. It's like a renaissance of 3D, you know,
Yeah.
where they are not trying to go photoreal anymore. It's non-photorealistic, you know, and the Into the Spider-Verse was just a huge inspiration from that, and you can see everyone. Did you see The Wild Robot?
No, I
Oh,
haven't. I have to see that. I was on a flight and they had it, but I'm like, I don't want to watch it
yeah,
on a
yeah.
flight
You don't want to
screen. Like,
be crying your
yeah.
eyes out on.
No, like I definitely want to watch it because it looks beautiful. Like I like the
Yeah.
whole, like I like the, like I guess what the whole like storyline's
Oh, it's
about.
wonderful. Yeah.
Um, yeah, but like it's one of these things where it's like I love Pixar, but man, like everything just looks like Pixar. Like they have their new movie, but the main character looks like Luca
Yep.
from the Luca movie. And I'm like, is that the same guy? And it's like, wow, we're really just sticking with the
Yeah.
same aesthetic of like characters, and everyone just kind of looks the same.
Yeah.
And I wish they pushed their proportions or something. Like Big Hero 6, like I love, but that's like Disney.
Yeah.
I
It's.
see Disney
I
do
mean, basically the same, right? I don't know.
basically the same,
People at
but
Pixar are like,
yeah.
no, we're
I
not
don't
the same.
Yeah, I know. It's Disney
Disney
Pixar.
Pixar. Yeah.
But then there's just Pixar, and then there's just Disney.
Yeah.
Because like Wreck It Ralph, that's
It's
just
Disney
Disney, right?
Animation Studios.
Animation studio. Yeah, it's just
Yeah, I don't know.
confusing. But trying to think what's the last movie I saw in the theater?
I think
Um
no. I was gonna say The
what
Wild
I
Robot. I saw. Did you ever see Megalopolis? Oh God,
no.
it was.
What?
Yeah,
Megalopolis?
Megalopolis with it was the Francis Ford Coppola movie with Adam
Mm,
Driver or whatever. Uh,
mm.
it was the biggest steaming pile of trash I had ever seen in my life. Like literally, I was laughing my butt off within the first like 15 minutes because how over the top and ridiculous it is, you know? Now, don't get me wrong. Adam Driver was fantastic in it. He played that character to an 11, right? It was so good. But everyone else, it was like it was so bad. It was almost like Francis Ford Coppola was like, "Yeah, let's just do one take. It's fine. Whatever we get, we get."
Like, no
You
one's gonna
know?
watch
And
this.
like all the way like after the first 30 minutes, I was just like, "This is the worst movie I've ever seen." Um I wanted to go into it liking it, but I just could not. And so halfway through, I look at my watch. I'm like, oh my god, we have like an hour and a half left. This is painful.
Like 3
And
hours left.
all the way to the very last shot, you think, okay, at some point it's going to like get better. Up until the
The
very last
payoff.
shot, it is just dog water. It's awful. Like the last shot alone is like, what are you doing on the framing? What the hell is this? Anyway, but it's Francis Ford Coppola.
Last,
I was like, it can't be
while
that bad, can it? No, it was bad.
while you did your Rotten Tomatoes review of that movie, I finally remembered what movie I saw in the theater. It was also probably the last movie I saw on streaming. Was Deadpool
Oh,
Wolverine.
that one was a
Good.
great
So
movie.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like I spoiler alert. Well, not spoiler alert. I won't say
yeah,
much, but like I just love the characters they had. Like I love Gambit, and to see
yeah.
that, like hell yeah, and just the terrible
Oh
accent.
yeah, it was
Like
so good.
it's a movie like that where you're like, it doesn't take itself too
Yeah,
seriously. Like the Coppola
yeah.
movie, like I'm sure it took itself too seriously, and if it wouldn't
hmm
have, and like leaned into the goofiness, I don't
I
know.
my favorite part was with Chris Evans. Is that him?
Oh my god,
Yeah,
yeah. As not as
yeah,
not as
yeah.
Cap, but I almost forgot. Like, oh
So
my
did I.
god,
I
there's so many
completely forgot, and I was
Easter
like,
eggs of
"Oh my
like,
gosh, yes!" I
yeah,
thought he was
yeah. There's
gone.
so many. I love how like they also just totally crapped all over 20th Century Fox, but then
Yeah.
it's like at the end they did this like happy little, hey, look at all these movies that were over
hmm
there, and let's be nostalgic. But we totally crapped
Yeah.
on them the entire
It
movie.
was good. Yeah, Deadpool and
That's
Wolverine was fantastic. That was a really good
yeah,
movie. One of the few
yeah.
of last year.
Hmm.
Movies are just like nowadays.
Well, it's like it's all just wait until the next Marvel
Yeah, but
movie,
like
right? Where we got
I
like,
mean I mean super I'm burnt out on superhero movies, you know? Like I could not care about another Avengers movie. You could not make me care, you know?
don't want
Wolverine
to
and
see Harrison
Deadpool,
Ford
yes.
as the
I love that dynamic. I love, you know, I like Deadpool. Wolverine's my favorite, you know? But it's
I mean,
like,
some of my favorite stuff now is like these series. Like you got, Squid Game, and then one of my favorite shows that I've watched in the past few years, like since Ted Lasso, is Shrinking.
yeah,
There's,
I saw most of the
like
first season. I hadn't finished it.
oh my gosh, it just gets better and
Yeah.
better. Like it's one of those like it hits you in the feels, but it's like one of the funniest shows. Like the writing is
Yeah.
fantastic. Uh, but yeah, like I feel like that's like replaced movies for me. Like I don't go to the movies very often unless it is something where it's like, well, let me watch. Like I'm not watching a comedy. And plus, a lot of this stuff is just coming straight to Netflix,
Yeah.
anyways. Like you got Happy Gilmore 2 straight to
Yeah.
Netflix, which I don't know, man. I just don't want them to do dirty like they did Dumb and Dumber 2
I thought
because
Dumb and Dumber 2 was okay. It was fine.
I got like 10 minutes into it. I'm like, I cannot watch
Yeah.
this. This is awful. Like this, like what did you do to my boy? They slaughtered my boy.
Yeah, I don't know. Happy Gilmore may be good. I think it might be good.
Maybe
You know,
good. I mean,
the
if it's
thing
on
is, you
Netflix and
can't
it's
you
that
can't go into a Sandler movie expecting
no,
Punch Drunk Love on every Sandler movie or Uncut Gems, right? That's
Uncut
not
Gem.
what
Yeah, yeah.
Sandler does.
That's
Sandler
not. Yeah,
makes
no.
silly, stupid, goofy movies, And if if you're expecting something more than that,
Well, it's like Ryan Reynolds Netflix stuff. It's like it's
yeah,
fine, but like we it was like, should we watch that Christmas one with Will Ferrell? And we're like, we watched it last
yeah.
year and it's fine. Like the best one is the Good Afternoon. Like I love that whole song, the Good Afternoon,
Oh,
instead
is
of
that
like F you.
the
It's
Will
like they say
Ferrell
Good Afternoon.
thing?
Like, would you say to me?
I didn't see
Yeah.
it. I got like
It's
15
like the
minutes into it. I was like, I can't do this.
oh,
Yeah.
stick with it. I know it's like I don't like musicals. It like my it's like my seventh circle of hell is if I'm just there's just a
Have you
musical
seen Wicked?
on. Oh,
Oh
no,
man,
because I
dude.
music-
I went into Wicked.
I
I
wa-
went in I went into Wicked.
I watched the first 10 minutes. I'm like, Jesus, kill
Oh
me.
man.
Like,
No, 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 no.
can't.
So
can't.
I'm on TikTok, right? And I'm seeing all these people posting Wicked, like,
Not for
yeah, not for
long.
long. No, Sunday, goodbye. Which that's a whole nother thing. No, and I'd see these people and they'd be like crying at the end of Wicked, and I'm like, what?
That's
No.
what I hear. Like,
I went
yeah.
into it, I was like, this movie is not gonna make me cry. And I get to the end and I'm just like, hold it in. It's so good. Hold it in. Like, it was just a fantastic. It was so good from beginning to end. And I cannot wait for that second one. I can't wait for the second.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know about the whole like going into it. It's like a sequel
What?
or
Yeah. So it's
the Wicked verse.
the Wicked verse. Well, it's based off the books, that someone wrote.
Right.
I don't know who the author. It wasn't L. Frank Baum, but based off of the work or whatever, and I did I had never seen Wicked the musical, and so I watched the second part, so because I needed to know what happened. You gotta know. You can't just stop at Act 1.
Wait, is there two parts? Oh,
So the musical is
like
Act
the
1 and then
Act
Act 2, right? And Act 2 to me feels like it just rushes. There's like things that are just thrown in there and you're just like, okay, how did this happen?
Yeah.
And so
it's like the Lord of the Rings, the third one, where it's just like, where are we
yeah,
now? What the hell?
yeah.
It's just,
So I'm excited because like normally Act 2 is only like an hour long in the musical. So if they do 2 hours, I feel like that'll give them a chance to do a lot more exposition and like, dive deeper into some of the subjects that happens, and yeah, it's exciting. So then the music was just so good. So good.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't like singing in my movies.
Yeah. You just like singing in the shower.
Exactly. It's funny because like I don't like the musical, but then I'm totally loving like the use of Madonna in Deadpool Wolverine. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Say a little prayer. Let's go.
That was
let's do karaoke
right
now. Thing is, like, I love karaoke, hate musicals.
That's true. That's true. Well, you just like being the center of attention. You don't like anyone else getting that center of attention with.
Yeah, they're taking my spotlight. Sit down, what's her face?
Sit down, Alphaba. Here comes EJ. Swish, swish.
Me. I can flick my hair around better than you.
Oh, that's funny. That was funny. All right. Let's see. In other news, let's see. This was just this morning. The Switch 2 was announced. Which is exciting, a little bit bigger.
Oh, what's the Donkey Kong Returns HD?
Yeah. So they're doing the Donkey Kong Returns. I think that was originally on the Wii. And so
so it's not a remaster of the original.
No. I wish it was a remake of the original Donkey Kong Country. I love Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah. Donkey Kong Country 2 is like, I play the heck out of it.
Yeah. So behind me, I redid, like, as you can tell from if you've watched the podcast in the past like month or whatever, I keep changing around my office, but this one I've got my Super Nintendo and my Nintendo and my Wii and my PlayStation 2 and everything hooked up to this giant CRT that Dave loaned me, and nice. So for Christmas or my birthday, Amy bought me the FX Pack Pro, which is like the EverDrive for the Super Nintendo. And I had never played Donkey Kong Country 2 or 3, you know. And so like it's great because I can load my ROMs onto it and then play directly on original hardware, you know. So I've been playing the crap out of Donkey Kong Country 1, you know, and I absolutely love that. But
I like Donkey Kong Country 2 so much. Remember Nintendo Power, the magazine? Like I don't know if it's still doing it. So they have these things where it's like fastest time to get to, I think it was 102% for like the total completion. You collected everything. I got the 9th fastest time that like sent it in. So my name was in Nintendo
that's
Power.
awesome.
I still have that copy somewhere, but that's how much I love Donkey Kong Country 2.
One thing,
also Mega Man.
Yeah, I know you like Mega Man.
Yes. We got to play when I come to the ABC party. We got to play these
totally
games,
totally. I mean, I've got everything set up, it's ready to go. One thing that someone had pointed out, so the biggest change with the new Switch is that it like magnetizes or something on there. But I totally feel like this is going to be a point of failure. These this little area right there,
drop them and they're gonna bust.
I mean, and it's like what you're just gonna like, you're gonna get mad and shake it or something, and then it's just gonna twist off or something. I don't know. That's the one part that worries me, because the slide on, those work really well, you know. And I'm curious if this one, if the joysticks are using like different things so you don't get the joystick drift like you do with the Switch. I hate that, you know.
Well, they also have the sliding thing, like just that slide mechanism took up the whole top part of the control. And they have a lot of buttons and stuff on these ones there. But good game. GG to anyone who gets that blue freaking one, because the blue controller sucks so bad ergonomically. It's terrible.
Oh, right, because of where it's at.
Everything's so close together. Like I feel like the red controller's the play.
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense.
I don't know why.
Let's see, red one right
the
there.
Blue one sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blue. Yeah, see the red one. I don't know. It's just the positioning. Where you got, I don't know what
I do really like that they have built in that the buttons aren't sunk in anymore, you know.
They got, is that like a new button on that left, like
I don't know
there?
Maybe it's like a Z3 button or something.
Yeah, so they got a lot more stuff. Oh, you didn't, keep it playing, because there's like all these buttons on the top.
Yeah So interesting. I do like the color scheme, you know, that they didn't stick with like, let's make one bright purple and one bright whatever, you know. So, and I'm curious to know what the stats are, you know. If it's, I've heard people say, and like this thing has been leaked to hell, you know, like people were showing off versions like that they had built themselves based off of the specs of this at CES, you know, and people were saying that it's as powerful as like a PS4. You know, so you'll get 4K out of it, you know. It might be nice. Who knows? I hate the logo. I mean, the logo is awful. Like
what is
the giant 2? But look at look on the controller. This controller that's coming up right here. Like, look how awful that looks. You know?
Oh yeah. Like, you already have the 2 controllers.
Yeah.
Like, lean into that, make it look more.
Yeah, just call it the Switch U.
Or I don't. Or what's like two in Japanese? It like written out as just 2 horizontal lines. They could have just done horizontal.
Or you turn the Switch controllers horizontal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, do the normal and then 2, and then it's just like Come on, Nintendo, hire me.
That's funny. But
I'm excited because like we're both big Nintendo people. Like, I don't do these like Call of Duty shoot people in the head games. Like, I'm all about like Kirby and like just eating stuff. And Mario.
The backwards compatibility on it, I think, is really cool. You know, being able to play some older Switch games.
Nintendo.
What?
Yeah. I mean, if it all logs into this Nintendo store, like I have very few actual
Oh
physical.
man,
But I wonder what the space is on the, because that's
yeah.
the main thing is just storage
I
and leans.
only buy physical cartridges.
Really,
I
just for the
Well, it's the
nostalgia of
nostalgia
collecting
and
thing.
like the amount of games that I bought for my Wii, my original Wii, like online that I can't play now,
Oh,
because the
yeah,
Wii store is gone or whatever. It's like, okay,
yeah,
if you're going to make it to where I can't play the games that I have purchased because you've shut down that digital store, I don't feel so bad about pirating them, you know?
yeah. Imagine. I mean, you could do it now with ROMs, but yeah, like imagine you could never play like an OG
Oh, man.
Super Nintendo game because like, oh well, they shut down the online store.
Sorry, my brother-in-law just texted me. David Lynch died. David
What?
Lynch, he created
Breaking news.
Twin Peaks. That's sad.
Okay.
I mean, that
Yep.
doesn't surprise me. The
You
dude
have a breaking
smoked like a
news thing here?
chimney. He had like crazy
Yeah, you look.
emphysema and stuff like that. But man, that's sad. All right. Beep 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 beep. This just in.
You're
David Lynch
top
died.
MoGraph news dropping.
Sorry, friends, who I'm letting people know. You know. Let's see. I got another headline. Let's jump to this headline. Oh no, that's the wrong headline. This is the headline. Oh, people can't hear you right now, EJ. Hold on. The already been chewed 15-year anniversary party. I've mentioned it a couple of times on the past few podcasts, but they've got their RSVP link live right now. It's already been chewed 15 years rsvpify.com. So you can check them out on their Instagram and stuff like that. It's gonna be an awesome party. I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to have you come to town, EJ. Come hang out. Have you been to
Yeah,
their new studio yet?
I believe I had when we. It's the same studio since when we did the DAT tour, right?
Yes. Yeah. I
Yeah. So
I
I've
believe
been
so.
been
Yeah.
there. Yeah, for a hot
Yeah.
second.
With
Went
upstairs and
there
downstairs,
and
right? Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yep.
Cool.
And so yeah, I mean that's the last time I went to Dallas. So and I feel like when we when we go to Dallas, it's always for some big event, and we never get to like
Actually
hang.
hang
So I'm
out, yeah.
excited to yeah, like Dave. I see Dave all the time, but like I never see
Yeah.
Dave. He never sees me.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like
And
really, yeah.
he's always working the NAB booths and the SIGGRAPH booths and stuff like that. And
Right, yeah, they're
I was
always
telling him, I was like,
yeah,
dude, trust me, when you don't have to do that anymore and you actually get to go out and
oh
have fun with everyone, that's the best type
yeah,
of NAB. That's why NAB is
like you have
awesome.
wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I had so much fun last year at NAB. Like, not being Mudbutt Milstead who just goes to bed at 10 p.m., but like actually hanging out until 3 in
You're
the
a horsey
morning
boy.
playing ponies,
Yeah. Yeah, you're a horsey
Horsey
boy.
boys. The horsey boys. But yeah, and there's not so many events going on. There's the ABC party that's March 15th. Mark it on your calendars. Come out to Texas. Come out to Dallas. The studio's great. There's gonna be food. There's gonna be a DJ. DJ Dad.
DJ Dingus Dave.
DJ Dingus Day is gonna be DJing and stuff. We're trying to get some more people out. Some more heavy hitters, if you will. Dave's hitting pretty heavy as it is, but we need some heavier
Oh,
hitters as well.
DJ
DJ,
Dangus is
DJ Dingle.
worldwide. He's Dangus worldwide.
But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I know Jags is coming out. I know we're trying to get Wimbush out. Luis Miranda's coming out. There's gonna be speakers and stuff like that. The VIP stuff is gonna be a lot of fun. EJ, you're coming out. I think Matthias is coming out too.
Out.
It's just like we planned one. Let's see, what was that?
Oh,
5 years
like
ago on
pandemic.
2020, and then it got canceled. Like basically right about the same time. So hopefully we don't have another pandemic. So yeah, save the date. It's gonna be great.
Nice.
Speaking of events, EJ, you've got an event coming up as well, right?
Yeah,
Let me see if I
so
can share this. Okay.
yep, there you
Uh,
go. Yeah, so Jess Hewitt, who is blowing up on the Instagrams, virtually visual. She also did a really awesome series on the Max on YouTube. But it's gonna be Jess, Wimbush, and I. We're gonna be hosting a panel with PJ Richardson and the team at Laundry next Thursday in LA. So it was one of these things where we just had a call and we're like, should we do this still? Because all this stuff going on in LA.
yeah.
But hopefully we get enough people to come out and like get a nice, escape and just be able to like just hang out, blow off some steam. Hopefully everyone's doing safe out
Yeah.
there. Like I know, Matthias had to get
Oh,
evacuated.
geez.
We know like Clint had to get evacuated
I
too.
think
So
Hupkey's been dealing with some stuff with family out there as well. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So sending our
all our hearts and our
Mo
love,
love,
our Mo love,
yeah,
Mo love.
Mo love out to anyone out there. So yeah, if you haven't got tickets, and they might be sold out, just hit one of us up, and we'll try to see what we can
Yeah.
do to
Where's
get
it
it. If
at?
not, like, so it's at the Laundry studio space. So it's all the information's on the event right there, but it's right in oh my gosh, Marina Del Rey. So like it's literally if you go to the
Hmm.
airport, you can do like a 10-minute Uber or less from there. So if you're from like out of town or something, you want to come
Yeah.
in, fly in, boom, right there. So really close to LAX. So it's not like you have to drive very far if you're from that part of town. But I'm looking forward to it. I always love going to LA and hanging out with people
Yeah.
and going to Little Tokyo and buying too many
Yeah. Yeah.
toys.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun when we were there last time. Yeah.
It was, yeah, it was fun getting some ramens and
Yeah.
stuff.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, come on
I do
out.
like LA. I like New York better. I like New York City better. But yeah, LA's fun.
I haven't been to New York in a while, but I'm actually gonna be doing Motion Plus in New York. It's like the first one in New York
Oh,
City,
cool.
so I actually get to go out there for the first time since like did you go to NAB NYC when
I
I was
didn't go
there?
there last year, but I have been there every
The
year
year
before for like 10 years or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So I think we were, yeah, because I dragged you to a
Yeah, you
brewery.
did.
Yep, I
Yeah,
remember.
you did. You dragged me to like 4 breweries.
Yeah. But they had I remember you really liked the
Yeah.
non-alcoholic one. But yeah, that I do like New York. I mean, I had like a bagel every
Yep.
day and pizza every
Yep.
day and like but yeah, it's tough in the winter. I mean, I love New York the
Uh-huh.
best in during the holidays when everything's lit up and but it's really cold.
I just
I don't know.
like,
I mean, I did propose to my wife
well,
in New
there you
York
go.
City,
So it's
so
got a special
it's
place in
definitely
your
got a
heart.
little special place.
I like that literally any time of the day, any time at night, you can find what you want to do. It's like we were hanging out we were hanging out doing the bowling stuff. Remember we were
Oh,
bowling?
right.
Uh
We're like, let's do
yeah, we're like, let's go
karaoke.
do
Yeah,
karaoke at like midnight. And then we went and did karaoke till like 3 or 4 in the morning. It was ridiculous.
yep. That was fun.
Yeah, that was a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
And you're like, I wish Andrew Kramer was here. He's like, oh my God,
There's
there
Andrew
he is.
Kramer showing me
You can do
Element
anything.
3D version 3 or whatever that
Yeah.
still hasn't been released. We'll get
Yeah.
there.
Most things are possible in New York. Not
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
not Element 3D.
Oh, okay, so I got one other thing that I wanted to show. Oh boy. Okay, so y'all,
But yeah, I gotta hit up that XR podcast with Michael.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you
Whoa!
remember this? Do you what? Come on.
Oh my
All
God.
right.
What just
Here,
happened?
I gotta refresh this. Okay. Tom Coben, you know Tom Coben, right? Yeah, so
Yeah.
Tom
Oh, this
Coben
is fake.
made this animation years ago. You know, it was back in
Yeah.
2019 and everyone freaked out. They're like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool. It's so real." You know, it looked
Yeah.
super photorealistic back. I mean, we can tell now like the physics seem a bit off on the way the pins move and everything. But it was like
It's a
a
shame.
totally cool moment. I'm scrolling through TikTok this week and I come across this video on TikTok. Someone actually
Oh,
made it in real life.
oh my
And it
God.
is, I had to immediately send it over to Tom and be like, dude, look what you inspired. Someone actually made something based off of the 3D like animation that you did, that everyone
Oh,
thought
look
was
at
so
that.
real.
Whoa.
Isn't that rad?
Oh, it does the spin and
Yeah.
everything. Get a little
A
English
little
on that.
English on it. Yeah.
Earl. I like that it's called
Mm,
Earl. That's a good name for a bowling robot.
right? Yeah. So I just thought it was,
Doesn't quite have as many likes as
it
Tom's though.
doesn't,
Just
no.
call him that out.
53,
Yeah, his is
54,490.
better.
Yeah. So
Yeah, the
this is a
spin,
spin.
man. Like that's a
Yeah, Tom.
power.
I sent it to Tom, and he says it needs more. It needs to be more airborne.
Needs more
Yeah,
This isn't impressive. It just spins the
yeah.
ball fast.
I don't know. I thought that was so cool because it's like, man, like something that
Soon robots won't
we
replace us
did
bowling.
or something that someone in our industry did inspired a real life thing like that. A meme basically inspired a real life thing. I don't know. I just thought that was so incredibly cool.
No, that's fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
So, and then we got the TikTok ban, which I originally saw this on TikTok. I had to move over to Instagram to find it,
Well, there you go. I think that's what's
Nah,
going to be
the
the
thing,
thing.
like, I hate Instagram. I hate it so much. The only,
Why? So I like I feel like I get a lot. I mean, Winbush sends me most of the
yeah, he
memes
does.
on
Yeah, but he
Instagram
just
because
reposts them into his
let's just say he eats
stories.
a lot of fiber and has some free
He
time
just
to send Instagram reels.
he's got a lot of toilet time. He starts reposting.
When you're like, when there's days where I see how many he shared, I was like, dude, did you have Chipotle? God damn.
No, like
Like there's heavy flow.
I hate Instagram. It used to be so great when it would like give you everyone that you followed in and don't be hating. In the order that it was posted and stuff like that, and you could just scroll, and like once you are done, you once you're done, you're done. And it's like, okay, like I'm going to go over to something else now. But it's like they wanted to keep users engaged. So, they create the algorithm and they show you stuff that you don't follow and blah, blah, blah. And it's like the thing that I enjoyed about TikTok was the For You page. It's like, here is stuff that we have allocated for you that we think you will like.
Now, is that stuff that you just follow, or it's just
No,
just
so
the
you've
algorithm?
got the For You page, which like is stuff that like you have like things along the lines of stuff that you've liked, or you've liked this specific one because it uses this sound or this trend or something, or these are people that you follow. Let's feed you some more of their stuff, right?
You liked Frankie Valley being a
Yes.
stiff,
So here's more people
we're
who have
gonna
posted Frankie Valley being
Frankie Valley.
basically dead, right? And so
Winbush wishes that was
I know.
now.
So it's like I really like that because they don't hide behind the here's your page, here's your page, here's all the people that you follow. You've got a specific here's people you follow and here's stuff that we've curated for you using the algorithm. And I wish that like, Instagram was more open about that, but honestly like then it gets truncated between like here's reels and here's stories, and do you want to post this as a story and a reel? Like the only reason I go to Instagram is because I want to see stories. I don't care about my feed at all. I only care about stories,
Yeah, and even that's confusing as someone who like posts semi regularly. Of like now I see people doing like carousels, and it's like our carousels back, and like what the hell?
Yeah.
So I just don't know what to do anymore over there.
I don't know. So I mean, TikTok doesn't matter. It's getting banned. There's all these people who are like, oh, maybe it won't. No, it's like, sorry, it's going away. And I did.
Unless Elon saves
Elon's not gonna save it. Yeah, but like honestly, like I would rather not have some egocentric billionaire buying out TikTok.
On
Like,
all of the platforms. Yeah.
there's a few people who were talking about it, rich people, and it's like, well, it wouldn't be the same as if you bought it. Like, because you saw as soon as Elon bought it, it bought Twitter. Like, let's change the name to X, make it more masculine, and add more MAGA crap.
Yeah.
And it's like,
You know what people want? Things about NFT and crypto
right,
ads.
right. And it's like, hey, you know what? I still love NFTs. I will be one of a few people who still love the idea of NFTs.
Oh,
you know,
of course, sure.
like the idea of NFTs and like that, I am 100% behind, but it's like the shilling and the grossness and like,
it's just all the grift.
Yeah. And it's like you got that in the space, and then you got Michael said Mr. Beast is trying to buy it, which would be awesome, and I completely disagree. Like, I think I think
he would just turn everything into a Squid Game.
That's my kid. I specifically told him, I said, you cannot watch Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast preys on the worst part of the human emotion, which is to watch people suffer, and that is not the type of person that you need to look up to. Like, he may really know how to like run a business and do all this other stuff, but it's like, man, Mr. Beast, blech. I don't like that guy.
Yeah. Well, that needs to do it with Logan Paul or Jake Paul or and like the
the Feastables like, or whatever, and then they had to get rid of them because they were using moldy cheese. It's like, all right,
like, this is who you want to.
Yeah,
right.
Go take your boxing money and go away.
I know. Yeah, GTFO.
Yeah. So, if you're looking for a new social network that doesn't, feed you a bunch of crap or train any of your stuff on AI or whatever, and is focused towards the motion graphics industry, check out the new mograph.com. It's still in beta right now. We're about to launch it officially into release. We've been working on some back-end stuff over the past year. Really, like, we wanted to get it out so that we could get it in beta, get it in the hands of people so that they can try it out. We've got about 550 users right now, which is, great for a really small little startup, social network and stuff, but it's so much more than just a social network. You have your activity feed where you can post your work, and your work is in chronological order, which I love,
Matt, it's about the community.
It is about the community, 100%. It's not about like, it's where artists can go to post their stuff, and be appreciated by other artists. And we've got stuff that we're working on, actively working on right now in order to, one, make sure that artists are able to appreciate other artists in ways that Instagram and other places don't have. But also, like, I've got my portfolio set up as my MoGraph, so if you go to MoGraph or mattmilstead.mograph.com, you'll be able to see, like, I've got my demo reel, I've got projects that I've worked on and stuff like that. But then you've also got your activity feed. You've got a store so that you don't have to sell stuff on Gumroad. You can keep it all in one place. If you want to buy some plugins that other people are offering, you got that there. And events are the big thing. We really want to grow the groups. So if you've got a local meetup group or something, consider creating that group onto the mograph.com. Again, all the stuff that you post is yours. It's not, we won't take it and use it in order to, like, do AI stuff. We really just want to create a place in order to foster the community. And that's 100% what MoGraph is all about. And it has been. We have made zero money over the past 10 years. And we have invested every single dollar that we've ever made through courses, through sponsorships, through whatever. Probably to mine and Dave's detriment. But
if people don't realize, that's a fake backdrop. You're actually in a cardboard box on the street in New York City right now. Like, you got your, like, will render for tokens.
So, but yeah, make sure to check it out. If you hate X and you hate Zuck's algorithm, come on over to the mograph.com. Check it out at mograph.com and sign up. If you've got an Otoy account, you've already got an account, you just log in through your Otoy account, which is great. and then it'll create everything. Go and grab your username before it gets taken up. You know, I had to make sure that I got the MoGraph one because I had forgot about it for like 3 months. I've been using my own personal one. Anyway,
I just registered DJ Dangus
DJ
Dave.
Dangus
So sorry,
Dave.
Dave.
Yep.
That's me now. I'm the most popular DJ.
Anyway. And yeah, if you've got features that you'd like to see, like I'd really like to build a discover page, you know, so it's similar to a For You where it's like, hey, let's discover new artists and stuff like that. That was one of my favorite things about the NFT crowd, and like, you know, when people were posting on Super Rare or whatever, being able to see all the new stuff that was coming in and seeing the artists that were posting, you know, that was cool. I want to do that. Then we got some other stuff lined up, some really heavy integration stuff, and just got to get the new back end, because right now it's not great.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm very interested in the meetup stuff, because I feel like now that I feel like things are getting loosened up a little bit. Meetups are coming back, and I don't know. Are you guys gonna do like a newsletter feed or stuff like that?
Are too? So yeah, we've mega super failed on doing newsletters lately, but it's in my 2025 New Year's resolution list is to do newsletters, if not bi-weekly, or if not weekly, bi-weekly, if not bi-weekly, once a month.
Just do monthly, and it's like, here's the meetups this month, wherever you're at, because that's really like, people ask me, pretty often about, I want to start a meetup in this area, and I feel like it's just getting the word out is the biggest thing.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Also, if you have a meetup group, if you want to start a meetup group, email us, hit us up, info@mograph.com, and we will help. You know, we've got a large audience here, you know, maybe not if you're watching the YouTube, you see there's only a few people watching, but the audio podcast goes out to a lot of people, and, you know, it's just, we've all been in our bubbles since COVID, you know, no one's really, I don't think people are getting out as much as they should, you know.
People want to start them, but they don't know where to start.
So hit us up. You know, if you're interested in starting a meetup group or whatever, or go on to mograph.com, just start one. Just start one. Sign up for a meetup group or create a meetup group, and then let all your friends know, and hit us up if you need help, like sponsorships and stuff like that. We know a lot of companies, and we can help with sponsorships. We would love to help, like, get some of these meetups going, and I know sometimes, you know, you need a couple $100 here and there in order to, like, oh, let's buy the first round of drinks for everyone, or let's get some snacks for people, or we need to rent some equipment in order to, like, project video and stuff like that. If you need help there, hit us up, info@mograph.com. We would love to help. We want to let's build back up the community. There are certain people and software companies in our industry who do not care about community anymore. I'm not going to name names, but let's build it back up to where it was pre-COVID, because that's the best. Yeah. Yes.
It's all about community.
Yeah.
All about
so
flag me.
Yeah. EJ, thanks for joining me on this new endeavor of me hosting this podcast. Great, horribly scared without Dave, you know.
No, you did
Thanks.
Awesome, man. Like, yeah, I got the news story, and I feel bad because I sidejagged to.
No, it was great. It helped us extend the show. So yeah. So thanks everyone for joining. Make sure to follow us on all the socials, you know, especially follow us on mograph.com. We've also got our YouTube and our Twitch stream. If you don't follow us on those, make sure to subscribe, hit like, subscribe, ring the bell icon, you know, whatever, so that you'll get notified whenever we go live. What else? Yeah, Dave and I, we've been talking about, so we're really going to see where this new TikTok ban, you know, because we're pretty sure it's going to happen, but if it doesn't for some reason, we're going to be continuing to live stream on TikTok, and we're going to be doing a lot more stuff. I have been talking about doing more like relaxed long form, like just hanging out live streaming. So make sure and subscribe to us on both YouTube and Twitch, because we're probably just going to start live streaming once a week or more, you know, because I kind of have this idea where I want to do a short film, and I've thought about like perhaps maybe doing it all live, you know? So it's like, this week we're going to build out some characters. This week we're going to rig some stuff, you know, this week we're going to explore some AI in order to try and do some stuff, you know? Hey, maybe this week we jump into After Effects and we green screen stuff, and then we get out of After Effects as fast as we can, you know? It's the truck stop bathroom.
I don't know what you're
But,
talking about, man. That's a gross thing
right.
to say.
So,
Say that.
we're planning on doing some of that. So make sure and follow us. Sign up for your mograph.com account. We've currently got over 500 users. It's great. Do all your stuff. You know, I went into that. Stop feeding Zuck's algorithm. Yeah. And, so thanks everyone for joining us. Thank you, EJ. EJ, where can people find you online?
You can find me at the iDesign on all the socials and School of Motion, and you can find me in Dallas in March.
15th.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see
And
everybody.
LA, what, next week? When is LA again?
LA next
Okay.
week.
Yeah.
If you're in LA area, come on out. Want to see you. But yeah, I'm excited for all these events to start coming back, and yeah, it'd be great to, like, even with the meetup stuff, like get a meetup going, and like, hey, maybe we'll come out and help kick it off. 'Cause, I mean, that's the big thing with, like, you know, PJ wanted to get you know, a lot of people to get butts in the seat, and so I don't know why, but he invited me. So we're gonna see what we can do. Well, and you know, Wimbush, Jazz, like those are some heavy hitters right there. So sometimes it just takes that one thing where you latch on to you know, C-level talent, and then some other very good talented people, and just get, you know, just to get that awareness out. Like that's actually how I started the Denver one. Is they had like a Maxon meetup, and I was like, how is there this many people showing up to this thing, and you guys don't have a monthly meetup? And so that's kind of where it started. And so yeah, sometimes it just takes that one to kick things off. And I always tell people the story that Chris Schmidt told me, is that the big Chicago meetup they have that's like super popular and all that stuff, that was just he started the one meetup. His first meetup he did was just with one other person. They got coffee, and then it's just grown from there. So sometimes it's all it takes. So start small, and you never know where that snowball's gonna snowball into.
Totally. And if you need help, hit us up. So
yeah,
cool.
All right.
Until next week, I'm Matt.
And I'm not Dave.
Later, yo.
And this was that.
It's pretty good, I guess.